Imagine being the most successful club in Champions League history, and ending the season getting humiliated 4-0 at the Club World Cup. That's exactly what happened to Real Madrid. The loss to PSG exposed a wound that had been open for months. A lost team, emotionally shaken, and fragile in big moments. The painful Champions League elimination to Arsenal and the repeated embarrassments against Barcelona showed that something had to change urgently. And as usual, Florentino Perez didn't sit still. Real Madrid decided to shake things up, and the transfer window turned into pure madness. So if you love football and you're a cool person who wants to help, please subscribe to the channel and drop a like. That would help me a lot. Thank you. To try and rewrite their story, the club turned to a familiar face. Xabi Alonso, former midfielder and fan favorite, is back at the Bernabeu as head coach. After taking Europe by storm with Leverkusen, he arrives with a lot of credit, but also with a huge mission. Rebuild a drained locker room, renew the team's identity, and deal with the immediate pressure to win titles. And the rebuild started with the toughest part, saying goodbye. Luka Modric, a living legend of the club, has joined Milan. Lucas Vazquez, a loyal servant at 34 years old, also said farewell. These iconic players mark the end of an era, but make room for a new generation. A generation that, by the way, needs to return to its best. Jude Bellingham, who spent much of last season struggling with a shoulder injury, is finally 100% fit. And Vinicius Jr., after a turbulent emotional season, filled with criticism and frustration, he's back more focused than ever. He wants to reclaim his star role and the fans' affection. But if there's one player who will carry the heaviest burden this season, it's Kylian Mbappé. The Frenchman ended his first year at the club with insane numbers, 44 goals and the European Golden Boot. But now, the expectations have changed. Real Madrid wants to see Mbappé show up in the biggest matches, on Champions League nights. The adaptation period is over. Now, it's time to prove he can lead the team. And for that, Real Madrid went all in on the transfer market. Over 190 million euros spent, the club's most expensive window in the last 6 years. 4 new signings have already arrived, each with an important role in the new project. Starting with the defense. Tired of improvisations, Florentino signed Trent Alexander-Arnold for 10 million euros. The Englishman has already made an impact, providing an assist in the Club World Cup. On the left side, Alvaro Carreras, formerly of Benfica, was brought in for 60 million euros. The 22-year-old, who shined by shutting down Lamine Yamal in the Champions League, returns home as the new starter. In central defense, Real also spent big, 62 million euros for one of Bournemouth's most promising centre-backs, a modern defender, confident on the ball. And in midfield, another young talent, Franco Mastantuono, a 17-year-old Argentine from River Plate, signed after a direct battle with PSG. He cost 62 million euros and is seen as Argentina's biggest talent since Messi. But it's not all perfect, because even with these new signings, the defense is still a concern. David Alaba is constantly injured. Militao has suffered 2 serious ligament injuries. Rudiger's form has dropped. And young Raul Asensio had a rough Club World Cup. That's why Xabi Alonso wants one more top-level centre-back. The main target is Ibrahima Konate from Liverpool. He doesn't want to renew his contract and could leave for 50 million euros. Another name being considered is Piero Hincapié, the Ecuadorian who already worked with Xabi at Leverkusen. His case is still under review. And the midfield. Real Madrid's dream signing has a name, Rodri, the current Ballon d'Or winner and a key figure at Manchester City. Toni Kroos has publicly praised his style, and for good reason. Rodri would be the perfect replacement for Kroos. Enzo Fernandez and Alexis Mac Allister are also being speculated, but they're much harder to land. Now, how to raise funds. Some departures seem inevitable. The main one is Rodrygo. After a tough season and a quiet performance at the Club World Cup, he doesn't seem to be part of Xabi Alonso's plans. The club would be open to selling him for 90 million euros, maybe even less. Liverpool, Bayern, Chelsea, and PSG are all keeping an eye on him. Other possible exits. Dani Ceballos, who could return to Betis. Gonzalo Garcia or Endrick might be loaned out, as both are competing for a backup role in the attack. Fran Garcia and Ferland Mendy are battling for the left-back spot. One of them will likely leave. David Alaba, with his high salary and recurring injuries, could also be on his way out. And Brahim Diaz, who was important under Ancelotti, might lose space with Xabi and be loaned out as well. In short, Real Madrid is going through a full-on rebuild. They don't want to live in the shadow of humiliation anymore. With a new playing style, led by Xabi Alonso, and big-name signings in almost every position, the club wants to get back to the top of Europe, and they seem ready to do whatever it takes.
Que realmente el Real Madrid está demandando con mucha necesidad un mediocentro del perfil de Kroos y otros que no, que realmente esto es trabajo del entrenador que esté, en este caso la temporada pasada era Carlo Ancelotti y este año es Xabi Alonso, para poder hacer al equipo jugar, ¿no? Pues hoy vamos a debatir eso. ¿Necesita el Real Madrid realmente un jugador del perfil de Toni Kroos? Un jugador que saque el balón, que lleve la batuta del equipo, que haga jugar o que una directamente a la defensa con el ataque. ¿Necesidad o realmente hay recursos en Madrid para suplirlo?
Vamos a ver, yo creo que el debate está dentro del club, yo creo que en la calle no. En la calle yo creo que es absolutamente mayoritario, yo creo que nosotros en una encuesta en el periódico lo hemos preguntado, es absolutamente mayoritario la necesidad de traer a un jugador de esas características. El problema es que lo poco que había en el mercado ya está colocado. Es decir, Kimmich, que es un jugador ya cerca de 30 años y que renovó con el Bayern, acababa contrato este año, hubiera sido una oportunidad, pero acabó renovando por el Bayern. Está Vitinha, que ahora mismo es un jugador intocable.
Y menos con el Paris Saint-Germain, Madrid Paris Saint-Germain, eso es horrible.
Zubimendi, que yo creo que está en un escalón más abajo, pero que bueno, el Madrid también dejó escapar esa posibilidad. Y Rodri, que es sin duda el mejor, pero sale de una lesión, de una rotura de ligamento cruzado. A mí me cuentan que está muy bien, pero vamos a ver cómo vuelve. Y si quitas esos, no queda nada más, porque es más, te diría que ni siquiera el típico mediocentro puro como era Kroos son ninguno de estos. Yo creo que jugadores de ese estilo que yo haya visto, jugadores que te hacen siempre un cambio de juego en largo y tal, yo solo he visto a Schuster, a Xabi Alonso y a Kroos, y no he visto a más. Y yo creo que esa especie se ha extinguido ya y no sé qué tendrá que hacer el Madrid, pero yo no veo otra solución más que esos.
Now I want to hear from you. Which of these new signings excites you the most? And which player do you think Real Madrid should still go after? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any Real Madrid updates. This season is going to be wild, and we're following it all right here together.